You're looking to start a business. You've been watching a bunch of stuff on YouTube, and people are like, yeah, start a business. I get to go on vacation all the time. My business runs itself. Oh, it's so great. My name is Erica Crouppen, and I have been in business for a little over 6 years. I own Crouppen's Poop Scoopin', which is a dog waste removal business here in Michigan. And over the 6 years, I've learned some things. So in this video, I want to teach you some things I wish I knew before starting my business. I want to lead with growing pains. Growing pains are real. This is why they're called growing pains. And I don't know if I just had like an unrealistic expectation that things were just supposed to go good all the time. And there were many moments where business was running so smooth. Customers were coming in, everybody's paying their bill on time. There's no vehicle issues. There's no employee issues. There's no issues at all. And I can just do what I need to do. I'm able to scoop the yards, or I'm able to work on office work, or, whatever it is. And then when an issue arises, I'm like, oh no, this business is the worst. Oh my goodness. And want to freak out and be like, I'm doing something wrong. I'm not good enough to be in business. I'm not smart enough to be in business. I can't figure this out. And this is just an issue that I needed to overcome, to know that in business, as you are growing, there's going to be pain points. There's going to be bottlenecks. There's going to be difficult people in your company, with your customers. And I really do feel like you as the owner need to be well-rounded to be able to handle all of this. Or when you start to have people on staff that are able to fill the void that you are. And that's kind of what I'm working on right now. Like when I hired my virtual assistant, they're much more organized than me. So I needed to hire somebody that was opposite of me when it comes to that was strategic and looked at numbers and Erica, what's the mathematics behind raising your prices to this rate, instead of being like, oh, that sounds good, I'm just going to raise the rates. I think at least with me, I didn't have a business mindset really. I had an idea. I wanted to do something. I was excited about it. And I think that's how a lot of us get into business. We're tired of what we're doing. We've seen somebody else start a business, and maybe we've seen the highlight reel. And then once we really get into it, we're like, whoa, this is kind of tough, or whoa, this takes a lot more energy than I really want to put into it. And it's quite boring, to be quite honest. It's quite boring. And so that's another little sub point to this, is a lot of business is just repeating the same thing over and over and over again. And if you're a person that is like an excitement junkie and you always need to be stimulated and you need to be bouncing around, that really can cause some issues, because if you can't focus on a task, or focus on a marketing material plan, or focus on learning reports, it's going to be difficult. And I'm speaking from experience, because I have had these struggles. And I know my brain is not unique. I know I'm not the only one with these struggles. So if you have this type of brain and you're relating to this is what it looks like behind the scenes. And you have to push yourself through it day in and day out. And then you get a small payout, and then you're like, all right, back to the next thing. So get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Isolation. As a business owner, it's incredibly lonely. And before I started recording this video, one of the women that actually runs the space in the building that I'm in, because it's a house, but there's several businesses here that rent spaces. And I have my own space. Well, I heard her come in. And as time has gone on, we've developed a relationship. She's a chiropractor. And when I really hurt my back and blew my back out over the summer, she helped me through. And we've just been able to have conversations and connect. And that's something that I hear common from other business owners, is it's lonely. I have felt the loneliness, because you do the long nights, the early mornings, the trying to figure out what the next move is for the business. And a lot of times when you're the leader, people aren't on your level. And if you don't surround yourself with similar people that are like-minded, it can feel incredibly lonely. And over the past 6 years, I've changed so much because of this business. And it's led me to meet new people. It has led me on my spiritual journey. It has led me on a personal growth journey. And because of that, I had to kind of eliminate a lot of people out of my life. And then also because I don't have common grounds with said people, they've kind of eliminated me out of their life as well. And then when you're working so much, you just have your nose down. Next thing you know, you haven't seen a friend of yours in like over a year. And you're like, there's no way it's been that long. And it just kind of compounds. And if you're a sociable person, by nature, like humans do need human interaction. And I know there's a lot of people that are like introverts. I don't know if I can relate. Everybody says I'm an extrovert. I do feel like I am, but there's times where I just want to be alone and I want to be by myself and I want to put my head down. But sometimes it gets a little too excessive and I spend too much time alone and it drains the energy out of me. And then you feel lonely and you feel like nobody can relate because you have a family around you. Maybe your family, they work 9-to-5 jobs, and that's a very, very different mindset than somebody that is running their business, because it's 24/7 all the time. And you do need to be really good about creating boundaries for yourself so you can spend time with other people. Even before I was getting ready to record this video, I had like low energy. I'm just like feeling lethargic. It's just gross out here. But when Amanda came downstairs and I was talking to her, I just got like a boost of energy. And it was before I even like took a sip of my coffee. And it made me realize, because we actually were talking about the loneliness about business. And I was like, girl, I'm getting ready to talk about this literally on this episode. It's my point number 2. It made me realize how much I need people. So a goal of mine is actually, I eventually want to get a co-host. I really enjoy the interviews that I do online for the Scoop podcast, but I need in-person. Like I want in-person guests to be able to feed off their energy. So if you're feeling like you're lonely and nobody understands you and nobody gets you, try to get yourself around other people in person. Like, yes, having people online is really, really important. So if you are not part of the Poop Scoop Millionaire community over on School, definitely go ahead and check that out, because there's a huge community of like-minded individuals on there. Pooper Scoopers, I want to say at the time of this recording, there's over 500 people just like you that are just trying to like figure this business thing out. Go ahead and click my link down below to go ahead and check it out. And then like the huge hitters, the people that are leading the industry are in this group. So you get a lot of really, really good knowledge. I say all that to say that online support is amazing. But if you just feel like something's missing a little bit and you're like, I don't know, I just still feel lonely, go to your local chamber of commerce, go around to other pet stores, because we're in the pet industry. But say if you're not a pooper scooper, you're in a different type of industry, go around to the different small businesses and talk to the owners, develop relationships with the owners. And they're busy too, right? Because they're busy just like you. So they might not be able to have time to like sit down and get together and do like leisure stuff. But maybe you guys can have like a Zoom call once every couple weeks just to like chat, have a coffee, just to be like, oh man, this is what's going on. This has been really great. I'm having a little bit of an issue right now. And somebody that has been in business for longer than you very well could see something that you can't see. And even if the person that you're chatting with has not been in business, they might have a creative spin on it that you can't think of because you're having like a mental block. Because when we're in it and we're in the thick of it, sometimes it's really hard to see outside of like the pity party, the woe is me box. And so when you get around some other people, it can help you. But don't be a negative Nancy all the time. Don't be that person that's always complaining, because people are not going to want to be around you. Make sure you're providing some value for people. So when others hang out with you, you are giving them energy instead of sucking energy from them. If a task is hard, don't throw it away. Don't pretend like it doesn't exist. You have to get it done. Either you need to take the time or your resources, your money, or whatever, and figure it out, or you need to pay somebody to figure it out for you. Let's use the example of taxes. Okay, this is like a pretty extreme example, but a lot of us don't know how to do taxes. So you can't just pretend like they don't exist and just never file them. Either you're going to do them yourself, you're going to figure it out enough, or you're going to hire somebody to do your taxes for you. Very similar to marketing and advertising. If you're running a business, you need to get more customers. This is so important for you. So if you're not good at creating content, if you're not good at promoting your business, figure out how by getting education, getting a mentor, or hire somebody to do so for you. And personally, I was super cheap. I didn't want to hire anything out until one day I was cleaning the house. I was doing something that I really didn't want to be doing. I'm like, man, I really need to be making videos. That's what I need to be doing. William had texted me and asked me something. I was like, man, I'm cleaning the house right now. I can't do it. And he was like, well, how about you hire somebody to clean your house and then you make more videos? What are you talking about, sir? So now my house gets cleaned on Fridays and I don't have to do it. I pay. Well, my husband pays. I want to be honest and transparent with y'all. My husband pays for it. And then I'm able to record videos on Fridays. And then I come home to a nice clean space when I'm at home for the most part, hanging out with the family. And I'm not stressed out. I'm not angry. I'm not mad. I'm not judgmental of other people in the household for how they like to live their lives. It works out. This one is huge. Not all clients will fire you if you raise their rates. When I wanted to do a price increase because my accountant was like, you need to raise your rates. They are too low. I was like, raise my rates? What do you mean? I was so nervous to raise my rates. I don't think I did that for maybe like the first 2 years. Don't quote me on that, but it took a little bit. And I was like, that's it. My business is going to be over. Nobody is going to use my service. That's it. So I did my first initial price increase. It wasn't that bad. It really wasn't. The stress level that I had was like awful. That's probably where a couple of my gray hairs came from. Once I did that, I was like, okay, we can do this. But I didn't even raise them that much. It was a very small increase. And then 2 years ago, I did a very significant price increase. There were some people that got raised $30 a month. That's a huge jump. And that was, for the most part, those larger yards. And I was like, there's no way. There's no way these people are going to pay. Like, is my service worth $30 extra a month? It was to them. I was putting my own expectations and my own limitations on what their pocketbook was. And then I had to think about myself. I'm like, so what you're saying, Erica, is if a service provider raised the rate $30 a month, you would drop them. And I got to thinking, I'm like, well, it depends on how much I value that service. It depends on how much I needed it. Like if my aunt that cleans the house, so I don't want to say my housekeeper because she's not. She's my aunt. She's helping me out. If she were to raise my rate an additional $30 a month, okay, sounds good. I need you. I don't want you to go anywhere. I trust you. So here's a tip. Don't put your own limitations on your customers. Your services, the rate needs to be increased. And every year there needs to be a slight increase. There truly does, because inflation, everything gets more expensive. You want to grow your business. You want to upgrade your marketing material. You want to maybe move in out of your garage into an office, and the customer needs to pay that. So think about it ahead of time. Here's another little tip. If you're going to increase their rates December 1st, which I don't recommend doing a price increase December 1st. That's when I do it. It's not the best time. I do need to change that. Don't message them a week before. They're going to get upset. Only a week notice. I personally like to give them a month to 2 months notice. I like to send out the email. Then I like to follow up with them a few weeks later to see if they got the email. For the people that don't respond to the email, they don't respond to the text message, then those people are getting a phone call. And then when the rates actually hit and then their cards get charged for the increased amount, then you get those people that are like, why did you charge me more? Then you can show them that you called them, you sent an email, you sent a text message, educating them on there's going to be a price increase, why there's going to be a price increase, how it's going to be executed, and what to expect. So they're fully informed. Will some people cancel? Yes, but you've increased the mass majority of your rates, so you're still, as long as a ton of people don't cancel, you're still coming out profiting more. And last but not least, if you have staff, If you think to yourself, man, I really got to let this person go. I got to fire this person for whatever the reason is. You should probably let them go like sooner than later. I make the mistake of thinking this person isn't really benefiting the company. There's issues here that I can't look past. And then I let them stay too long until there's like a catastrophic event to where my business is like dangling on a thread. And I'm like, nope, they got to go. And then I'm like trying to fix things and I'm trying to get stuff figured out. If there's warning signs and there's patterns and you have conversations with people and they only change for a little bit and then they go back to the behavior, firing them faster than you think you should. And this is one that I really have to work on because I'm going to do another round of hiring. And I love to give people the benefit of the doubt. I feel bad, but at the end of the day, I need to make sure that the quality of my business and the life of my business is doing good, because if there's no business, like there's so much riding on this business that the business has to succeed. My family needs this business to succeed. The other staff members need this business to succeed. So if I'm allowing somebody in that is not carrying their weight consistently, and yeah, they might be fast, yeah, they might be a rock star when they show up and when they're having a good day, but then they have these other days that are just like really bad. And those are like bad, like really bad days. You have to make the decision sooner than later to cut them loose and be okay with having that difficult conversation and understand that like you're not a bad person for doing so. You just have to have a difficult conversation. These are my hard truths that I wish I would have realized or known when I first started in my business. Do me a favor, if you have been in business for a while and you are listening to this and you're like, you can resonate with some of these, or you have your own hard truths and you're like, man, I need to share this, please go ahead and put that down in the comments because we need to learn from each other. And if you haven't checked out and you're not part of the Poop Scoop Millionaire community over on School, click the link down below to check it out. And please come hang out with us. And before you head off YouTube, I want you to go check out this newer video with Paul. William did an interview with him, and he is the owner of Scoops Poop. He's a brand new pooper scooper, and he explains how he was able to get 9 new customers with a free Facebook post.